You ever see a job title online and think, yeah, but what do you actually do all day? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're taking a real job posting for a quality engineer, and we're going to decode it piece by piece to really understand the mission behind the title.
So, quality engineer. It sounds important, right? But what does that actually mean when you're in the middle of a fast-paced automotive factory? We're going to peel back the layers and get to the core of what this job is all about.
And here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the opportunity itself. Then, we'll dig into the core mission, the day-to-day stuff. After that, we'll translate the technical toolkit they're looking for. We'll build a profile of the ideal person for this role, and finally, we'll cover your next step if this sounds like it's for you.
Okay, first things first. Let's set the scene. We need to know who's hiring, what the job is, and where it's located.
All right, so the company is Sharda Motor Industries Limited, and they're based in Nashik. The role is a quality engineer, but you'll notice that little acronym in parentheses, IATF. That's super important in the car world. And don't worry, we are definitely going to unpack what that means in a bit. So, now that we know the basics, let's get into the good stuff.
So what's the actual mission here? What does this person get up and do every single day to make sure every part that leaves the factory is perfect? This role is a really cool mix of being proactive and reactive. On one hand, you're on offense, running audits to spot problems before they even start. But then, you're also on defense. You're the lead detective when a customer complains or when something on the line doesn't meet spec. You're also kind of the gatekeeper. You're the one who signs off on that very first part off the line to make sure the entire run is good to go. It's all built on this foundation of keeping these super tight quality systems running smoothly.
Okay, that last slide had a bunch of technical terms. So now, we're going to hit pause and actually translate that jargon. Let's decode the specific tools you have to be a master of to really succeed in this role.
First up, that acronym we saw earlier, IATF 16949. The easiest way to think about this is that it's the official rulebook for quality in the auto industry. It's a global standard that makes sure every single part from every single supplier is made to the exact same high level of quality. This isn't just a suggestion, it's the price of entry if you want to make car parts. Now this one, PFMEA, is where the job gets really interesting. This is where a quality engineer gets to be a detective before any crime has been committed. It's a really structured way to look at a process and basically imagine all the ways it could possibly fail, and then you build safeguards to stop those failures from ever happening. It is proactive problem solving at its absolute best.
And this is just a brilliant concept, poka-yoke. It's a Japanese term that literally translates to mistake proofing. Think about how a USB-C cable can be plugged in either way, so you can't get it wrong. That's poka-yoke. In a factory, it's all about designing a process so that it is physically impossible for a person to make a mistake. It's such an elegant way to build quality right into the system itself.
And the toolkit doesn't stop there. It also includes things like control plans, which are basically the daily playbook for keeping things stable, process flow diagrams to map out every single step, and total productive maintenance, which is all about making sure the machines themselves are always in perfect shape so they never cause a problem.
All right, so we've got the mission and we've got the tools. Now, let's put it all together and build a picture of the perfect person for this job. What kind of skills and experience are we talking about?
The big number here is experience. They're looking for someone right in that sweet spot, 3 to 5 years. So this isn't a beginner role. They need someone who can jump in and start making an impact from day one.
So here's the complete picture. The foundation is a mechanical diploma or degree. On top of that, you need those 3 to 5 years of hands-on experience, specifically in fabrication. And the glue that holds it all together, a really deep, practical knowledge of all those quality tools we just talked about. See how each piece is critical to pulling off that core mission?
So we've decoded the role, the responsibilities, and exactly who they're looking for. And that brings us to the final section. And really, it's a question for you.
After seeing the whole breakdown, the mission, the tools, the problem solving, you gotta ask yourself, is this the kind of challenge that gets you excited? Does this sound like the next step you've been wanting to take in your career?
If the answer is yes, then your next move is super simple. The company wants you to send your details directly to this number, +91 9840 912 099. That's it. That's your direct line to this opportunity. Thanks for diving into this breakdown with us.